Stir well before using, especially when it's cold. And this is me pouring part A in there. I already poured part B because I pushed photo instead of video, so I didn't record myself pouring that, but I guess that's kind of okay. I'm gonna mix these together. This is silicone. I need to fix my mold. It has torn for the second time now. I believe the reason why is because when I made this mold, the studio I was in was very cold. And typically the curing of, it goes for both silicone and resin. Typically if it's too cold, it doesn't quite cure properly. And the stuff in the buckets, the part A and B that you see in the background there, the whole reason why it says mix well before using, and do that especially when it's cold, is because there's a lot of sediment that settles at the bottom. A lot of the mixture tends to, the larger particles of the mixture itself settles at the bottom, so you have to mix it really well. But I think it was just too cold. The studio was like 56 degrees. So that was dumb on my part for not letting it heat up before I poured this thing. You want to make sure you clean the area thoroughly, make sure there's no finger oils on it, dust particles, otherwise it will not adhere properly. And it tore, this is the same exact spot that it had torn last time too. So I'm kind of starting to assume that this spot is going to tear every single time now that I do a cast, which is incredibly annoying. I've also had another artist tell me, because I asked on actually a Facebook group, they said this Mold Max series of Smooth On, this silicone is super oily. So they say your sculpt tends to stick more even if you do use a release agent, and it has a history of tearing, hearing from other artists in this group. So I bought a slightly different silicone mix to try for my next mold, and I will show that next time. And now we will let this sit for 24 full hours to let it cure properly, and we're done.